Good day, everyone, and thank you for attending this talk. It's my aim to educate Filipinos about this tremendous body of work that I feel is a very sensible biological paradigm of health. That is the missing piece in biohacking. I'm Elia Bella, biohacking pioneer of the Philippines and GH Philippines founder. GH stands for Germanische Heilkunde, formerly known as GNM, Germanic New Medicine, or German New Medicine. My TEDx talk was born out of my work and personal experience using Germanische Heilkunde and the correlation between adverse childhood experiences and maladaptive behavior and my proposed solutions. Who was Dr. Ryke Geerd Hamer? He is the creator of Germanische Heilkunde, formerly known as German New Medicine, changed appropriately to Germanic New Medicine. We prefer to use GH or GHK because it eliminates the word medicine, an industry that made his life absolutely difficult. As much as possible, let's refer to it as Germanische Heilkunde or GH or even GHK. He was born on May 17, 1935 in Friesland, Germany, and sadly on July 2, 2017, he passed away due to complications from a stroke that he had suffered 3 months earlier. After graduating high school at 18, he engaged in 3 degrees in medicine, theology, and physics. Who does that? Already early on, we know that this man is of genius level. At 22 years old, he received his master's in theology. At 28, he was granted his medical license in 1963. He specialized in internal medicine in 1972 after spending several years at the university clinics of Tübingen and Heidelberg. He then practiced medicine alongside his wife in various clinics. He also demonstrated remarkable skill in inventing medical devices. Notably, he holds a patent for the Hamer scalpel, a non-traumatic scalpel that is 20 times sharper than a razor blade, as well as for a specialized bone saw for plastic surgery and a massage table that automatically adjusts to the body's contours. After suffering a stroke, Dr. Ryke Geerd Hamer passed away on July 2, 2017 at his home in Sandefjord, Norway. The stroke, which left him partially paralyzed and unable to speak, occurred shortly after the German medical authorities made a final decision to permanently deny the reinstatement of his medical license following a 30-year legal battle. He is laid to rest in Erlangen, Germany, the city where he married his beloved wife, Sigrid. Germanische Heilkunde, formerly known as Germanic New Medicine or German New Medicine, is a body of work discovered by Dr. Ryke Geerd Hamer. It is based on the belief that diseases, cancers and all, are caused by conflict shocks or biological conflicts, referred to as a DHS or Dirk Hamer syndrome, named after Dr. Hamer's son in response to a perceived distressful life situation. According to GH, physical symptoms manifest as part of the body's natural biological responses to these conflicts, and once the conflict is resolved, the body enters a healing phase. The key concepts of Germanische Heilkunde include the 5 biological laws of nature. These laws describe how diseases begin with an emotional conflict. Psychobiological is a more accurate way to describe it. This explains how the brain governs organ functions in response to this conflict and how the body's symptoms evolve in 2 phases, conflict active phase and the healing phase. GH views the brain as a mediator between emotional shocks and physical symptoms. Each type of emotional conflict correlates with a specific brain region and organ symptom, hence the term biological conflict instead of just an emotional conflict. GH emphasizes that disease, including cancer, is not a malfunction of the body, but rather part of a sensible biological special program designed to help the organism resolve the underlying conflict. And it also exists in all of nature. GH does not address conditions resulting from poisoning, physical injury, or diseases caused by severe malnutrition, such as possibly scurvy or maybe even rickets. In these instances, resolving an emotional conflict is not necessary, as the cause is purely physical, mechanical, or nutritional. Helmut Pilhar continued Dr. Hamer's legacy and is the main appointed lecturer of GH and spent many years dedicated to spreading this work. GH differs from conventional medicine in that it rejects the idea of disease as a malfunction or random occurrence, focusing instead on understanding the emotional root cause. Why Germanic and not German? Dr. Hamer, while studying in Tübingen, won a scholarship in India to study the ancient texts and spent 8 semesters studying Sanskrit. He also studied Latin and Greek works. We need to respect Dr. Hamer fully, and why he chose to call it Germanic is because there is a connection with science and honoring the mythological lore that the Germanic tribes adhere to. They closely lived with and by the laws of nature. Dr. Hamer and the Germanic people identified with nature and the earth, that is, the roots, the feet with the past, and the heavens, the branches, our arms, our hands with the future, as seen in this Hagel rune, the 7th rune behind the archaic melody and Dr. Hamer's song, Mein Studenten Menschen, which is same as the symbol of this university, the crocus, to symbolize the man who belongs to nature, from his feet rooted in the earth to his arms reaching for the sky. Germanic, we can also refer to Proto-Germanic roots of the Germanic tribes. Germans was simply a term used by the Romans for people located north of the Roman Empire. In Gallic, Ger means neighbors. Mani is men, and men here refers to men and women. The Germanic tribes were biologically oriented and always in a dialogue with Mother Nature, of which plants and animals and all creatures are a part. In Latin, German could be seen as germ, same blood or brother. We live in community and for community. Together, there is a harmonious consciousness, and we kneel to no one as we live in harmony, presiding over all matters together as a community. Why Heilkunde? In the beginning, it was called the New Medicine, then later added the word Germanic to become Germanic New Medicine. Later, it was decided to remove the word medicine. He decided to use the word heil, which meant to heal, and where the word holy and salvation come from. But of course, there's a clear distinction not to relate it to any religious themes, since religion looks at something outside of you for healing. In GH, we're looking at nature's self-healing capacity innately coded in our cellular intelligence. We look within ourselves as something already inside of us, and there is no need to look outside of us. Kunde can also be known as knowledge and scientific teaching, and can also be known as art or skill or expertise and intelligence. Sometimes it is also known as a client or customer. So there's always a service of passing on knowledge, learning to help another person, a society, a community, which is exactly what Germanische Heilkunde is doing.